and welcome to Business Connections. This is a program put on by the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce. My name is Holly Allen. I am with the Chamber, and I'm joined today by a couple of guests because we are talking about Generation Dayton today. GenD is a program of the Chamber, and it's focused on young professionals. So today I have Rachel Gensler. She's one of my coworkers at the Chamber. She oversees the Generation Dayton program. And my second guest is Mary, and you're going to have to help me with the last name again.
Mierzejewski.
Mierzejewski. It's ridiculous. Mary is a volunteer with the Chamber, with Generation Dayton, but also has been on my Marcom committee. So it's ridiculous after all this time. I still have to ask her how to pronounce it. But if you see it on the screen, I think you'll understand why it's so hard to pronounce. So anyway, welcome to the two of you. Thank you for being with me today.
Thanks.
Thanks for having us.
We're talking about Generation Dayton. So Rachel, is this your first year?
It is. It'll be a year in September.
A year in September.
Yes.
So you took over Generation Dayton last year. For any of our viewers who don't know what Generation Dayton is, I'll just start by asking you to give us an overview of what GenD is.
Our goal for Generation Dayton is to keep the young professionals in the Dayton region, which leads me to our mission, which is to engage, develop, and connect YPs in the Dayton region. So we provide a foundation for the young professionals to join together for professional development, community service opportunities, and social networking opportunities as well.
Okay. Can you tell me about how you accomplish that, what your mission is?
Sure. So we accomplish that by providing events every month. We provide 3 to 4 events every month that allow for young professionals to attend, to network, which provides and we provide business and professional development opportunity. And I would say that with that helps retain those young professionals in the area. It gives something for those young professionals to look forward to. It's an easy, convenient way for them to connect with one another.
Right. So a little bit of background there. The Chamber really looked to form Generation Dayton, as you mentioned, to retain those young professionals. I think every community is looking to keep that young talent within the workforce and within the pool, and so this was really the Chamber's way to do that. Serve our members, serve the young professionals, and help them grow. Mary, you've been involved in Generation Dayton for quite a while, right?
Yeah, this will be my 3rd year.
Okay.
And also 3rd year on the steering committee as well.
Okay, so you are a participant and a volunteer.
Yep.
So you've seen it from the other side of things. Can you tell me about how Generation Dayton has been successful in accomplishing its mission and engaging those young professionals?
Yeah, so I only have my point of view, but I would say it does it through connecting people. So I came out of UD and came back reluctantly through a job offer to Dayton.
Unfortunately, we hear that.
I know, and I think you hear it a lot, but I quickly found Generation Dayton and got involved through the marketing committee and now as vice chair. But a couple of things that really stand out to me is I was connected to very valuable people that led me to stay here. And I think you hear that over and over again with people's stories and how Generation Dayton really connects them to Dayton, to people in Dayton to get them to stay here.
I think you're right, and I think there's a real movement, especially now within the young professional community, that they're really proud of the Dayton area and they're proud to call this area home. So I think that the Chamber and GenD can take some pride in knowing that they help to spur that movement, I would say. Mary, can you talk a little bit about your personal experiences? I know you told us that you came here, Generation Dayton kind of helped you feel settled. Do you have any stories you want to share from your experiences with GenD?
Yeah, I could take you through just a brief timeline of, I graduated UD and then went home for a month and then got a job offer here in Dayton. And I felt a little stuck, as you said, because I didn't really know anyone from post-graduation. So my dad actually introduced me to Generation Dayton. And I went to a Thirsty Thursday, which is one of our networking events, and knew no one. So as an introvert and the fellow introverts watching, that's a hard feat to overcome, is to walk into a room full of people who seemingly know each other without knowing anyone. I quickly became friends with an old chair, Jessica Blumbaum, and she kind of really integrated me into the program, got me involved in the marketing committee, because that's what I studied and wanted to get involved in. And from there, I met the best friends I've ever had in my life through Generation Dayton. I found 2 jobs through Generation Dayton. Yeah, finally working in my field. Anyone who studied liberal arts can probably feel that struggle. And I, met my amazing boyfriend through Generation Dayton as well. So it's just really about all the connections I made finally made Dayton feel like a place that I want to grow up, say grow up as a 24-year-old, but and make my home.
Yeah. I think you're kind of a case study for why Generation Dayton was formed.
Exactly. I
Right.
love hearing her story and many others' testimonials about why they joined GenD, how they joined GenD, and why they stay in GenD.
Because I'm sure you hear a lot of them.
I do, and it reminds me of, it makes me more passionate about my position and want to really help and grow this program to be the best it can be.
Can you talk a little bit about, you mentioned one of the events, one of the networking events that Generation Dayton does, but I think to the overall community, even those who are not involved in Generation Dayton, GenD is known for one day in particular, and it comes in May. Rachel, can you tell us a little bit about Generation Dayton Day?
Sure. 11 years ago, GenD Day was established as a day to focus and give back to the community. And it's the first Friday in May every year, and we had ours this May 5th of this year. And it is it's a time to make a difference in the Dayton community. So we take the day, and from 12 to 1, we have all of our whoever signs up and registers to be a part of that day. They join us for lunch. This year it was held at the Kroc Center. And during that time, they'll get their T-shirts, which we provide for the day, that says GenD Day and has our sponsor on it. And we give a little spiel, and we then disperse those volunteers to their designated nonprofit locations. So this year we had 19 participating nonprofit locations where we dispersed about 120 young professionals in the Dayton area too. And what's really great about that day is that a lot of employers will give their employees time off because they're giving back, they're volunteering, they're representing their company by being out there and helping the Dayton community.
Can you tell me about this day in particular? It was a little bit rainy, but
I guess this was the first time in three or 4 years that it had rained, which naturally, being my first year, of course,
Right.
of course
That's
it rains.
how it works,
yes,
right?
yeah. It was not just rainy, but it was kind of cold, so that, no pun intended, put a damper on our day. It totally did, but we still made it through. And Mary can tell you that she was at the one of the two places, locations that was
outside.
strictly designated to working outside.
Lucky you.
Yeah, it was a ton of fun.
Worked out.
No, we mustered through it. We were very muddy, but it still was a good day, and it's always fun just to be able to get out and see these nonprofits who are looking forward to this day and these volunteers coming to give back to the community that they live in.
Rachel, can you tell me, we've talked about GenD's mission is really about professional development, and we're the chamber, so we're focused on business. So why do something like this that's so service-oriented? Why is that important?
I think it's important because the nonprofit organizations in our community need volunteers, and through Generation Dayton, we're able to provide that to them in a more convenient, robust way because we have the membership. We've got 300 plus members looking to volunteer, looking to give back, and I think we give them access to that in a more convenient way. And I think that's important because they're what's helping the Dayton community. Those nonprofits are helping the Dayton community stay a community.
Right, right, and that's something that the Dayton Area Chamber has had as a mission to make sure that the well-rounded business person is focused on servant leadership as well as business leadership. Right. So that fits right in with our mission and what we do. What do you hear, Mary? You're out there, you're working with these nonprofits when you go out and you're wallowing in the mud on Generation Day. What do you hear from the nonprofits who host you? What are their reactions?
They're definitely thankful. I mean, just to have a group of relied volunteers come out, especially on a weekday, it's hard for them to find. You'll hear nonprofits say a lot that it's tough to find the volunteers and to find reliable volunteers. So they know Generation Dayton for the past 11 years has been giving them, a solid team to work with on this one Friday in May for a good amount of time. And we're doing the stuff that, they're focused on the day-to-day. How do we keep their mission going? We're doing the stuff behind the scenes to keep them supporting them and doing it, the stuff they don't have time to do.
Right, and what an amazing business community to be able to, like you said, give some of these leaders time off work and go out there on a Friday afternoon and give back to the community. You said we had 19 volunteer sites?
Yes.
Do you know how many participants we had this last year? And it was
around 120.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It was a good day.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
So keep an eye out for next May. It's always, is it the first?
The first Friday in May.
Friday in May, and we'll be advertising for next year and looking for volunteers.
Yes,
You don't have to be a member of Generation Dayton to do that, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it is a membership to join Generation Dayton.
Yes.
But in order to participate in GenD,
Anybody who wants to volunteer can join us.
and as we always say, we don't card, but it's a young professional group, so it's focused, is it 21 to 35?
21 to 35. Well,
Somewhere
yeah.
around there.
Yes.
We're not carding. So we talked about Generation Dayton Day. You've got to focus really this year on, even more so, on professional development. And from the way it sounds to me, and I don't know a whole lot about this because we're about to announce kind of a new program that Generation Dayton will be doing, but it seems to me that we have this wealth of knowledge within the chamber, the overall chamber membership, and we like to tap into that and kind of help the two marry, Generation Dayton membership with the chamber membership. Can you tell me a little bit about this mentorship program that you
Sure.
were talking about, Rachel, with Generation Dayton?
A mentorship program was just proposed to me and then brought to the chamber as a whole within the last couple of months. And I will throw their names out there for the three that worked on it. Jake Current and Natalie Burke and Nick Gripplinger. Those three together, who serve on the professional development subcommittee, put together this mentorship program that they believe would help connect and utilize the chamber members and then the Generation Dayton members, so it's going to be a mentor-mentee relationship. We're going to kick that off starting in July. We're going to do a pilot program, but it's having mentors in your life really helps to develop and grow in the business world and in your personal life. And so they thought that was really important, and it almost made too much sense. Like, why have we not been doing this?
Right,
So it
right.
fits right in with the Chamber's mission and with Generation Dayton's mission. And I think it'll really open up a lot of opportunity for those young professionals. And just to add, I think being a mentor is just important as being a mentee. I think they can both learn just as much from one another. So I think it's going to be a fantastic program.
I think it's a brilliant idea, and I'm excited to see this come to fruition. So you're starting it with a kind of a pilot program, is that what you said?
Yes.
And so you'll start with just a limited number of participants?
Yes, we're going to have 6 mentees, and then we still need to match those with 6 mentors. So we'll send out through the chamber, we'll find out what chamber members are interested, what chamber member companies are interested in being a mentor, and then our professional development committee will match those mentors with mentees that they see fit. I think there's got to be some compatibility there. It's going to be
Playing matchmaker.
Yeah, it's like a matchmaker. So we'll be doing that, and we'll see how it goes.
I think that's a great
Yeah.
idea. We know that from the chamber, we've heard from our members over the years. One of the big focuses for us is workforce, which is really what GenD is about. It was a demand that came from our chamber members. It's so important. Our chamber members know that the most valuable piece to their business is their workforce, their workers, their employees. It's valuable to them, and so we work to help them develop those. Mary, sitting right here, has gotten 2 jobs out of being involved in Generation Dayton. So our chamber members are looking for bright young talent to bring into their companies, and so I think this would be a great way to bring them together. So kudos to you and your team, Rachel.
Yeah,
I
they're
think
doing a
it's
great job.
fantastic.
The steering committee runs this program. I mean, they take the lead on so many projects, and it is amazing to me. It's been amazing to watch volunteers take such ownership and leadership over something they're so passionate about. It makes me love my job.
Yeah, that's great to hear.
Yeah.
We love that. Can you tell us about, if someone's sitting at home watching, they want to get involved in Generation Dayton, how would they do that?
Sure. We have a couple of different outlets. Through the Chamber's website, there's a sublink to our program, Generation Dayton, where they can register or where they can sign up and become a member or register for events. Our Facebook page is probably our most utilized social media outlet as far as finding out when upcoming events are occurring. And then we have a newsletter that they can also sign up for through the Chamber website that will give them access and information on how to do all of that. Or they can reach out to any of us, myself or Mary, or
Or really just show up to an event. We have social events every month, and just show up and be there and ask questions and just try to get to know people. That's really the best way.
Do you have any tips for fellow introverts?
Sit in your car for a while before. Take a deep breath and just know that It's going to be okay. Like,
I would say and I'm totally not an introvert. I've always been an extrovert.
I had no idea.
I know, but it's something like that has never been nerve-wracking to me to show up and attend a networking event. But I've watched, so I've gone to a lot of our events, and I watch our steering committee in particular, and a lot of the other Generation Dayton members as well. But our steering committee really focuses on approaching and engaging with people that show up that they've never seen before. They make it such a comfortable, easy experience. They realize it was just as weird for them at one point than it is for every single person walking in the door, even an extrovert. It is, regardless. And though I say it's not nerve-wracking, it's still like I have to prep myself to have conversations about something, whatever it is that we end up talking about.
Right.
And our Generation Dayton does a really, really good job of making those people feel comfortable.
That's great.
Yeah.
And it's also something I've seen in the events that you're having within the professional development realm. That's something you've discussed, is how to work a room, how to network, how to build your confidence enough to become professional in the business world.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
You've given them some tips. I know as the chamber, that's something that we push a lot. Networking is one of the biggest things that we offer to our members, and so it's important for young professionals to learn how to do that. So.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, so as they mentioned, you can head to DaytonChamber.org to learn information about Generation Dayton. Head to their Facebook page. If you want to know more about the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce and how we're helping businesses in the Dayton region, just go to DaytonChamber.org. And you can also follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. You can get exclusive content there. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Holly Allen, Director of Marketing and Communications for the Dayton Area Chamber of Commerce. And thank you, ladies, for being with me today.
Thanks for having us.
Giving us information on Generation Dayton.
Yep.
Have a great day.
Thanks.
For some time, employers have recognized the challenge of hiring, training, and retaining a qualified workforce that will help them grow their businesses. Year after year in chamber employer surveys, we have clearly seen the difficulties faced when comparing this issue with other employer needs. Whether in low or high unemployment times, employers continue to ask for help. This is why the Chamber, as well as other key organizations and education entities, have developed strategies to try and solve this problem. But we're not alone. What we hear from our Chamber peer groups is that almost every community, especially metropolitan communities like ours, face the same workplace challenge. Over the years, the Chamber has developed a number of workforce strategies to help the community and our employer. Over a decade ago, we identified the need to recruit and retain our younger generation and entice them to come to the Dayton area, or if educated here, remain here and work and raise their families in the Miami Valley. One of our key programs was the Generation Dayton program, modeled after the JCs. We believe that the 20 and 30-year-olds wanted and needed personal and professional development, networking opportunities, civic involvement, and social outlets. Our GenD program has been an absolute success in all of these areas and continues to grow, evolve, and mature into an important strategy that area employers embrace. We hope that you've enjoyed today's program about our initiative designed to support and retain our younger generation and combat the brain drain that we and others have felt. Congratulations to Generation Dayton and our active leadership team that drives this successful program.